us on the Sport Channel. I know you love it, Baz. I know you love your golf, and the Liv, the Greg Norman, the Open. There's a lot going on. We'll get across that a little bit later, but not with this guest. Every now and then you get a young fella in here, South Australian kid that's going to be an absolute star.
Good.
Our next guest, Jack Buchanan, SA Amateur Champion. Aussie Open runner-up. So he's got a few runs on the board already. He's just come back from overseas, squeezed us into his schedule. Jack, thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries.
Hey, mate, let's talk a little bit about the tour you've just come back from. Ireland, Scotland, Europe, America, 2.5 months away. Tell the viewers a little bit about that tour.
Yeah, I mean, I started in Europe and played in Scotland and Spain and then the British Amateur and just played some like really cool courses, and then went over to the States, did a few months, and then finished it at the US Amateur, and then came home. So it was a long trip, but it was good fun.
All right, you talk about some of the courses, mate. Let's talk about St Andrews, because you're on there 3 weeks before the Open. We're just talking off air. All the stands are set up. It's ready to go. Is there a little bit of magic when you walk out to one of the great courses for golf?
Yeah, I mean, just like standing there, and like I was born in Scotland, so I had all my family there as well. And like on the first tee, like it's just like something you dream about as a kid, like just playing on that course. But yeah, it was cool.
This is a Golf Australia trip, yeah?
Yeah,
The whole thing is Golf Australia.
I guess
you the only
like
one?
The tournaments aren't Golf Australia, but Golf Australia like helped fund me in Europe, in Scotland. We had teams that went away, and then in America it was sort of our own thing, but they help us out a lot, yeah.
Mate, it's a long tour, 10 weeks. It's a lot of finance, a lot of flying. You know how you talk to some of your mates and they go, oh, how lucky is that, mate? You're going to Europe, you're going, I'm on an aeroplane, I'm in a hotel, I'm on a golf course, I'm constantly on the go. Was there a fatigue stage for you through that time?
It was a little bit, but you're kind of there with all your mates, so sometimes it can be a bit much. But in Florida, Golf Australia have a house and the family there, so you can go and just kind of like live there. It almost feels a little bit more like home than just living in a suitcase. So it's not too bad, but yeah, after a while, living in the same suitcase for a few months is a bit much.
Jack, I've always wondered how an Australian kid who goes to America to play in the college system, say, which is, a lot of guys take that path and whatever, how they are accepted by the colleges and the other players, given that you're from overseas and they go, oh, here comes another one. Is it all okay? Is everyone fine with that?
I don't know. We kind of thought like everywhere we went, they all loved Aussies. Like, doesn't matter where we were, they were pretty accepting of us. So yeah, they don't mind, I don't think.
The Aussies are pretty popular, mate.
What's that?
The Aussies are pretty popular,
Yeah, they are
mate.
pretty popular, but it's always intrigued me how, you're virtually coming in, if you're coming into a college system, you could be taking a local lad's spot.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at. So
it's a different setup there, though.
Yeah.
Because any kid out of high school can go to any college you like. So you're really no different to a high school kid going to a college, unless they're cutting you and you're taking his spot. But that's acceptable over there. Yeah. We're not so big on it here.
Not what we should worry about it anyway. Because,
Hey, Jack, you had some pretty good golf, mate, while you're away. Quarterfinals in one. Tell us a bit about that one.
I played some good golf, qualifying for USAM to finish it off was good, and then I played some good golf at British Amateur, so it was just kind of at the point where like you're versing all the best amateurs in the world, so it's good to sort of see where your game's at and then come home and do it again next year and feel like I've learnt a lot and all that stuff together.
So how far away do you reckon you are? So you had a chance to assess your game against the best amateurs. How far away do you think you are?
I don't think I'm too far away. I think a little bit more practice this year and then head back in next year and try to get some wins next year and finish it off well before I go pro.
What is next for you, mate? Because there's a lot of amateur stuff coming up, a lot of the Australian circuit, if you like, coming up. Will you play all that now, or are you thinking pro, or where are you at?
So, as an amateur, I can get starts in a lot of pro events. So next week I'm playing WA Open, and then I'm going to the Philippines month after that for Namira Cup, which is an Aussie team, and then hopefully I can play Australian Open and a few other big pro events this year as an amateur and sort of build up my status sort of thing, and then next year probably turn, I reckon.
Straight into the LIV, mate. $5 or $6 million just to sign on, Jack. Mate,
we were just talking about this off air before. Our lads wandered out of the college system over there and just picked up $5 million playing in the Liv tournament.
It's fantastic,
mate. It's right now. It's probably not a bad time to be a golfer.
Yeah, I think this is the best it's ever been for golf. With money-wise, whatever, like there's just so much you can do. There's so many tours you can make money on, so it's pretty good at the moment, I think.
I have to ask you this because not a lot of people are. But are you a golf? Do you watch golf? A lot of it?
Me personally, not a heap. Like, I'll watch like highlights and stuff, but there's certain tournaments, like I'll turn on the Masters or the Open and stuff, but I'm not too much of a golf freak in that sense, like watching it a lot.
Was it golf at the start for you, Jack?
Kind of. I played a bit of soccer when I lived in Scotland, and then when I moved here, I just pretty much picked up golf when I was like, 11, and then haven't done much since, just play golf really.
Is there someone, normally athletes have a couple of athletes that are ahead of them that they admire, be it Tiger Woods, were there a couple for you early where you thought, I'd like to be?
I guess
like
early, my dad played golf, so he kind of got me into it.
Yep.
And then I don't really have like any idols. I mean, I guess you see Tiger Woods and stuff, but I don't really have too many. Like, there's people like Jack Thompson who's like just turned pro and stuff like that. He's sort of at like where I want to be, sort of thing, in the next few months/year. So he's someone I look up to at the moment.
Mate, you say you're travelling with your mates and there's things you want to work on in your game. There's obviously things they want to work on their game, and then there's time to be social. How competitive outside of the course does it get? If you're just sitting down having a couple of drinks with your mates going, mate, that was just a shocking day you had, I'm better than you. How much ribbon goes on? Yeah,
it's pretty good. Like, I think the Aussie boys, we have some good banter. We had a good group away, and definitely when we had a few beers, there was some good banter going on between the boys.
Do you have to work on your banter, or you've got that covered?
Nah, I think I'm top down there.
Excuse me. Hey, mate, you talked about what you have to work on your game, and it's a tight schedule because you just said before, I've got to go to the Philippines, I'm going to do that. How do you fit that working in on your game that complements what you've got to do when you're on the tournament?
Yeah, I think it's just like when you have off time, like really taking advantage of it rather than sort of slacking off. Like, I have training all the time, and it's just like focusing on what I want to do and being a bit more specific on what needs to be done type thing.
Is it hard to do that? Because a lot of it, if you're in a team sport, you've got your teammates that can help you.
Yeah.
You're more the individual sport, so it's unusual for your teammates to want to help you because technically what you said, mate, you may be taking my spot in the tournament. Is there an isolation?
It can be a bit. I mean, I have some good mates I practice with all the time, which is handy, a bit competitive and stuff, but you also have to have that like self-drive, which can be difficult at times, but you kind of got to think of the bigger picture, sort of where you want to be in a few years type thing.
Yeah, I don't imagine it's too bad in the summer getting out on the course, mate, but in the winter, freezing cold.
Yeah, in the winter, early nights,
yourself?
Cold. Nah, it's not ideal, but...
Hey, what's an average week for you at home with your involvement with SASS, with your involvement with the academy, plus your own golf? Just give us an idea of get up in the morning, start from a Monday to a Friday. Yeah, so like I do landscaping when I'm home sometimes, depending on free weeks. So I might do that like couple times a week. And then like Tuesdays we have SASS gym training, and then all day golf after that, and then obviously I'll do my own practice all day most of the time, and then Thursday we have SASS, and then I'll see physio, and then the weekend is kind of I'll play and then just practice as well. So it's kind of full like the whole week really. Yeah, it's a big load, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot to it, isn't there, mate? There's a lot happening when you get to your level.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening. There's no real gaps in the weeks and things like that.
Nah.
You just need to keep the nose down, don't you really?
Yeah. There's not many times where I'll be like, I'll take 2 days off golf. Like, I might have the odd day, but it's not too often, yeah.
The physio, mate, what's the worst for you? Shoulder, lower back? What gets a golfer?
I'm pretty good, to be honest. I'm pretty flexible, so I don't really have too many issues, but I think I'd say lower back would be more common for a golfer.
So you might want to give up that landscaping, mate. That's
That's right.
Hopefully in the next year when I turn pro, I have to worry about it. But for now, it's good fun.
Mate.
Just on there, mate, just quickly before we let you go, you get a chance to look at, because you've been on the tour and you get a chance to look at the guys that are playing professional golf now, the workload that they do compared to the workload that you're at now. Do you think there's much difference in it?
Probably not. I think maybe they would maybe do more even, or maybe less. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think everyone's different in golf. Like, each people need like different stuff. Like, some guys might need to practice a certain amount of hours a day to keep their swing, and some guys might not really need that much. I think it's just all down to personal and what you need, really.
Hey, mate, last one before we let you go. Not again touching on it because it's individual. If you look at the tennis players, they travel with a group of people. They've got their own little entourage.
Yeah.
If you were to sign and play pro golf, would you have an entourage? Your best
definitely.
mate go with you, and your mum and dad, or
Yeah, definitely. I think most of the pros do that, and especially with Golf Australia and stuff, they can help you out. So I think you'd sort of go like, you'd have your coach maybe, and then a couple family members, or Depends how much money you're making to be able to fund it, but yeah, you definitely would like to take some people with me if I'm
I think
going.
it's vital. I think it's absolutely vital that you've got a support network around you at Jack's age and going in to play these tournaments now, to have these people there, I think it's a must. I don't know whether you'd enjoy it as much. I suppose you'd enjoy it, but it's tougher without that group in there behind you. You know, is there.
It's the balance. You've got to have a balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I've got a free couple of years coming up, Jack. I just thought if you needed someone to come with you, mate. I wasn't doing anything, mate. So, no, hey, Jack, been fantastic, mate. It's a brilliant career so far. You're doing terrific. Next year at the amateurs, hopefully you get that little jump that you want and then straight into the pros, mate. It'll be great to watch your journey. So, well done on your career so far.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right, Jack Buchanan, our special guest. Keep an eye on him. He's going to be an absolute superstar on the golf circuit, and he's a South Australian boy, even though he started in Scotland. We're claiming him. Stay with us still. More to come.